Hi y'all, it's Dana from Blackyard Garden. It's been a minute since I've done a video, so I just wanted to do a quick tour of the garden so y'all could see what I have going on this spring. All right, so I don't know if you guys watched, obviously, but last year I had a problem with woodchucks, and it's mostly because of the development on the houses in my neighborhood that are across the street. They're building more condos like this, whereas I live in an old house, and all of the houses in the neighborhood are getting bought up to make more of these. But anyhow, I am just here to show you the garden and the changes that have been made since the woodchuck problem. First and foremost, I'd say the biggest change has been the electric fence. So the electric fence goes along the line. I don't know if I can show this. Let's see. Can you see the fence? Yeah, like right here is the fence. This is a post. And then the posts go all the way to the edge of the fence line over here. I might not be pointing at the right spot, but right over here is where the post line ends. And then there's no post or electric fencing along the wooden fence, but it picks up over again on that side. So that's the last post. Am I pointing right? I think so. And the thing that has saved me on the side of the fence where there's a wooden fence is that the neighbors have dogs, and raccoons and woodchucks of course don't like dogs, and dogs don't like them, so they don't go into my neighbor's backyard on that side of the fence. So we've put a fence only right around here, and so here is the mechanism that gives the shock, and it's not a deadly shock. So it goes for 2 miles. It could potentially be that far and still get a shock for the pests. And I don't have 2 miles of space. I have a very, very small backyard. But okay, enough about the fence. I just want to show off some of the plants that inspired me to start this video. And one is that lovely clematis going on the fence right here, showing off. And then the poppies started to bloom. There's one right there. Aren't they pretty? So I want to share with you guys the vegetables that I got growing. So right now, because I only have 2 raised beds that are 4 by 8 feet long. I used to have bird netting that goes over these hoops, and that was also my attempt to keep any other pests out of the garden, say rabbits, which I don't fortunately have a very big problem with rabbits, knock on wood, and raccoons until they figured out how to get in the beds. I ended up planting tomato plants in pots, and if you want to do this, the beneficial thing for doing it in this method is that, for one, if you do not have a regular watering pattern, when you fill this up with water, it'll retain the water underneath the pot. And if you mulch really high, like you can see I've mulched up really high, the drain holes are way low like that. So keeping it mulched up really high like that will allow the plant to go down deep and search out any water that it might need. So here's basil I've done in the same way. A pepper plant. I think this one is, it's either a ghost or a fish. No, I think it's a fish pepper. And in this bed, okay, I know y'all, don't tell me I need a lot of weeding to be done, but a lot of this is basil that I would like reseed at the end of the season, last season. What else? In these containers, every year I usually try and plant potatoes in those containers. And then here's a little, what they call a herb spiral. And so within here I have some, this is some lemon verbena, some dill that reseeded. I started this asparagus. This is asparagus. I started it from seed and I'm really pleased at how it's doing. If you start asparagus from seed, it'll usually take about 3 years before you can harvest anything from it. But the wonderful thing about that is asparagus is a perennial. So you should be able to harvest many years to come. And this pretty guy, or lady, I don't know, is called sorrel. It has a really sour flavor. And this is basil. It was purple, but I think this is just an irregularity that it turned out purple and green. But how fun. I'd recommend having water for the insects and birds to visit, to encourage them to visit to your garden. So there's the way the fence travels along, the electric fence onto the back wall fence. And I'm super excited, y'all, about this. It's my first year of having apples in this espalier tree. So here's some baby apples. Currently it's May 30th. I'm in zone 5 in Nebraska. But I've trained this tree to grow along the fence due to my small space. But you can see this is the main branch right here. This branch was damaged most recently and I had to cut it down, cut it off. I saved the wood for barbecue. I don't know if you can see that, but there we go. This leaf has what's called cedar leaf rust. So since this is the first year that I've gotten apples, I'm looking into, wait, I'm out of focus. I'm looking into how to solve the problem of the cedar leaf rust. I think that's what it's called. And just a quick tour of the rest of the flowering plants. There's some peonies that are almost done, some purple iris, and this fun little dianthus. It used to be much larger, but I'm happy that I still have some. I probably need to move it, that's the issue. And then over here in the vegetable bed, I have some, there's just some collards. This is, I believe that's a tomatillo. I know this one is over here. This is a tomatillo that's starting to produce little flowers, which is exciting. And a little patch of spinach that's going with a couple of other brassicas. Some more dill. And along the path between the two beds, there's some volunteers that are coming up. There's some nice looking cilantro and some mustard greens. Also along the path, I like to have my little strawberry patch. So you can see there's some strawberries coming in. And I have made a homemade sort of a compost bin. And you also want to bury this under the ground. And I used to have a bungee cord that went across and tied to the other side, so when you open it, there's just all of my table scraps. But for the bungee cord, as I was saying, when you want to lock it down on one side, you can roll that around and it acts just like a tumbling bin that you buy in the stores. And sage is another plant that's perennial, so it'll come back every year. So that's the tour of the garden, the Blackyard garden. Thanks for watching. I hope that I can get another video out again soon of what's growing on in the summer, once the summer hits, and show you what I'm able to harvest. By then there will be some bigger harvests other than just like leafy greens. So thanks for watching, y'all.